My name is Mbulanzuki. I am a lawyer by profession and an entrepreneur as well. Being a new lawyer, it's exciting to be in this platform as well and trying to venture out into entrepreneurship. That's how I came about being a co-founder of Yakutti. First of all, Yakutti is a Swahili word that means sapphire in English. And it's something that's precious to us. Yakutti is a business with a difference. We are a storytelling platform. We are e-commerce in our very nature, how we operate, because we have a website. It's called yakutti.com. Check us out. And what we do, we give our designers a platform to sell their stuff. We don't want people to be limited by their physical addresses or something of the sort. We don't want people to be just limited to the spaces they find themselves in terms of location. So it being an e-commerce, we open up designers who would otherwise never reach out to different markets. We give them a platform to sell their beautiful stuff, well-crafted merchandise all over the world. What inspired me to start Yakutti? Actually, it's an interesting story. I was contacted by my high school deskmate, Maureen Katha Gitonga. That time she was in Harvard, and based on our friendship for dating back from high school, she thought I would be someone who could help her build her dream. So Yakutti was actually her brainchild. So when she contacted me, this was in towards the end of 2015 with the idea. I thought it was really brilliant, and she contacted me mainly because she believed in my work ethic, and secondly because she says I'm stylish, and I've always loved fashion and style. In fact, at some point in time I was a fake model. Yeah, so I've always been into style, and that's how Yakutti came about in my life. When Nkatha came to me and she shared whatever ideas she had, we had to come up with how we're going to work, our Yakutti, our roles in Yakutti, different roles. And then she thought, and I also agreed with her, that I was the best suited for business development for Yakutti. So that entails myself going and reaching out to different designers, bringing them on board. And as Yakutti, our market base is we reach out for designers from all over Africa, not just Kenya, and they have to be African or African inspired designers. And what makes Yakutti stand out from the rest of our competitors is that we have a market base in the US, where Nkatha was studying. And when she came to me and we agreed that I was going to be the one reaching out, the one doing the business development, I thought that was brilliant. So I started contacting different designers. I did my market research. I was very passionate about designers with a story because Yakutti is a storytelling platform. We are e-commerce who reach out for designers who have an ethical standing, who are innovative, and who have a story to tell. Like, I believe that each piece a designer comes up with has a story that it bears, and that's what motivates and drives Yakutti. We are telling stories and we're inspiring people. We reached out. I personally make calls and I reach out to designers. I would do my market research, mostly online based. I will look for designers and I'm like, oh, I really like what this person is doing. Say someone posts a picture of something they've crafted on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, this is really beautiful. Then I will get their contact. I'll do what we nowadays call sliding in their DMs. I'll slide in their DM. I'm like, oh, I really like what you're doing. Would you like me to help you market this? Like, I fronted ourselves like a marketplace, because that's actually what we are. We are a marketplace for designers and artisans. So I told them, look, we actually have something good. We have a website that we can actually let you open a boutique online, and then you're going to sell your products. And the fact that we believe in Yakutti makes them believe in it, because when you're passionate about something, when you actually believe in something and you believe in them, and you're telling them, let's expand, help me grow as I help you grow, that kind of brings someone on board. they believe in your idea, they see the vision, and they buy into it. I'm passionate about Yakutti and what Yakutti does in style and fashion because it's life-changing. It helps people to gain their daily bread, to put bread and butter on the table. It helps people to slay, you know. It's so many things put together. It's literally pieces of someone, the passion, the style of who you are, what speaks to you as a person come to life. And that means everything. It's literally creating. We're doing what God did with us in a different capacity, you know. We may not be able to create human beings in the manner and fashion that God did, but we can deal with the resources that God has given us on earth and create things. And if I meet someone who has that talent, because not everyone is that talented, I personally can't design. I don't think I can design jewelry from scratch. I can partner with someone to design something, but I can't do it from scratch. So when I see that kind of talent, I'm like, that's God at work. That's God in human form at work. And that's something to me. It means something to me. It's everything. I've always been a stylish person. I've always wanted to try out different things, different styles, put clothes together in a different way, pair it up with different jewelry. And now growing up and being in a position where I can actually partner with someone as passionate and as forward-looking and compelling as Nkatha means everything to me. Like, I'm so glad I picked the call when she called me. I'm so glad I did, because she was like, girl, let's do this. Let's change the world. I'm like, how are we gonna do that though? And she's like, we're going to partner with people who are driven, people who are creatives, and then we are going to change the world one style at a time, one piece at a time. And I was like, wow, brilliant, and why not? So I saw an opportunity, jumped at it, and I'm glad I did. I think it's one of the best decisions I've made so far. This is an intricate, detailed necklace by Niku Singh. It's aluminium. It's made from aluminium, and it's a very elaborate piece. So it's best suited for bold occasions. Say weddings, you're attending a traditional wedding and you want to stand out from the crowd. That would be a good piece for you. It has details both at the front and at the back. As you can see, it's a very beautiful piece. There's so much that has gone into this, so much love and art. My marketplace is predominantly in the States, and that's because as a company, actually, we are registered there in the States. Nkatha saw the logistics when she was still based in the United States, and she was working and studying there. And we thought, how we're going to differentiate ourselves from the other person in Nairobi, Kenya, who is just selling something on Instagram, you know. We wanted to give people something beyond borders sort of market. And so we started out this website, and again, in the United States, we realized there's a marketplace. Like, people are really eager to buy African stuff. It's very valuable there. Like, guys want to actually wear authentically made stuff from Africa. Our market base being mostly in the United States, once again, we onboard designers who have a story to tell. We don't want to just be like how you go to a kiosk and pick something and you don't care about the story behind this person. We want to give every design a human face to it. We want to know the story. What inspired you as a designer to start designing these beautiful pieces that I now wear? You know, we want you to tell your story on our platforms. We want the end user to actually appreciate your journey as an artist or as a designer. And then we want you to also make money while telling your story in the most beautiful way. So some of the qualities we look for out in our designers are, they have to have, first of all, a story to tell. Secondly, they have to have designs which are ethically made. Like, we wouldn't go for designs which we think are not environment friendly. We are very eco-friendly people, and we promote the environment and all that. So say we really like when you meet a designer and they tell you, oh look, I'm actually recycling metal and I'm turning this scrap metal into something very beautiful. that in itself tells you who that person is, and you connect them from a person to person level. So that's what we look at for out for in Yakutti, and of course quality, because if I'm going to wear something, I want for this piece to look the part. I want it to help tell the style that I am as a person, who I am as a person, because I think every piece speaks something. You know, the fact that when you go to the market you pick something over something else, it says something about who you are. So we want these pieces to tell stories, to help me look good first, and also tell a story of who I am as a person and who the designer is as a person as well.
My name is Charlene Goka, and I'm a designer at Alexander Betty. Alexander Betty is an ethical company. We're an environmentally conscious company. We basically design accessories for women, for the modern woman, you know, sophisticated, elegant, and multifaceted, and especially a woman who is in touch with what her social and environmental impact is. So our pieces are reminiscent of and basically reference a sense of wanderlust and a sense of fair trade, you know, and we're an ethical business basically. And you can see aspects of nature in our business as well, because we are inspired by nature. At least that's what inspires me to design. I actually was studying biology at the University of Nairobi. I studied biological sciences to be specific. And I was very passionate about it. I did an internship, it was fantastic, at this place called Save the Elephants. I loved it. But when I finished college and I was looking for a job, I felt like that wasn't necessarily the path for me. And whilst I was in college, I kept losing my earrings. So I decided I'm going to learn how to make my earrings so that when I lose one, I can just replace it. And then in the process, people began asking me to make them pieces. And that's how it began, and the rest is just history.
The products are actually quite well received. In fact, I hate to say this, but sometimes we don't even meet the demand. Like, we need to still come back and look for designers. We're growing. So we're trying to onboard as many designers as possible, people with really brilliantly crafted pieces. So there's already a market in the US. People really like to spend. They have the money to spend and they're not ashamed to spend it, especially if it's on something which is going to help them look really good and something that they feel they can connect to. Yakutti is now turning 2 years. Being a startup, we obviously had our rough patches. We've made a few mistakes which we've actually learned from, and we are now bouncing back and we are ready to go. We've learned our mistakes, but so far so good. I cannot complain really. I feel that in as much as we are doing good, there's so much room for improvement. I believe that's the biggest room in the world, room for improvement. So we are on a mission to become the best versions of ourselves, and we want to grow, and we want to give designers from Africa or even African inspired, because sometimes you meet designers who are, say, from Asia. Like I just met this lady from Malaysia who's making African jewelry. So we can't limit that person just because they're not African. They are African inspired. So with such potential and seeing how designers believe in you to an extent of them giving you their jewelry worth thousands and thousands of shillings, it's quite inspiring, and that pushes us. So Yakutti so far is doing good. Can Yakutti do better? Absolutely. And we are up for it. We are going to go the distance.
Yakutti will expose you to their client. You know, it's a beneficial, it's a symbiotic relationship basically. It's a two-way relationship. So they give you the platform, and when you're on their platform, you get to interact with their clients. And it's a different market because it's their clientele, you know, and they know exactly who they're looking for. So you get to interact with their client, and you get exposed to different markets. there's better marketing for your products. Basically, I would encourage somebody to definitely join Yakutti and see what it's about. They are very supportive, and they'll be able to understand what your needs are as you specifically as a designer, and your brand.
I've met different designers, and I don't know which one to pick over the other. They're all my children, so to speak. They all belong to me. But there's some very inspiring pieces. Like, for instance, I have Niku Singh he's Kenyan actually. Niku Singh's designs are very bold, and it tells a story of who he is. He's very charismatic, he's very outgoing, he believes in fashion, he believes in style, and he also does precious stones. He does his jewelry with some of precious stones which have healing capabilities, he tells me. I was like, I don't want to wear that, it's a bit, but then he tells you how he came about it, how he learned this skill, and you see the passion glowing from deep in his eyes, and you're like, wow, this is someone who's really passionate about this. So it tells a story of who he is, how bold a person he is, how passionate he feels about his craft. He actually learned to make pieces by himself. You see, that's a very inspiring story, because you're used to having kids who are told, become a lawyer, go to school, become a doctor, go to school, become something conventional. Then you meet someone like Niku, and then you're like, wow, this is really mind-blowing. You actually taught yourself how to do this? Beautiful. Then of course I have similar stories from Alexander Betty, also from Kenya. We have Longsin from South Africa, Cape Town. We have Iloni from South Africa. Similar stories, very beautiful, intriguing people. And then of course you meet Sheikh Shega, who is Ethiopian. There's Nyumbani from Tanzania. We have designers from really different walks of life, and all of them have something that moved them, and it's very inspiring. Like I just mentioned Alexander Betty, they're some of my favorite designers currently on our platform in Yakutti. They've named their platform after their two siblings who passed on, and that's very, very moving, and it's deep because it tells you who they are. They are people with family values, and that's the kind of people you want to associate yourself with. I feel very good wearing their ring, I'm like, oh, this is a designer who actually is in touch with who they are, where they come from, their roots, They are making it, and they want to make it as a family, because actually two sisters who are designing this, and it's a moving story, I feel the same about literally all my designers. We have Embody. Embody is very beautiful. She's called Evelyn, the designer behind Embody accessories. She makes brilliant pieces, and each piece has a different story that it tells. Yeah, I wish I could come with all of them and parade them here and have each one of them tell you what each piece is, but of course that's not possible. But we have my website, Yakutti, and Yakutti is doing justice to their stories, and we're not about to stop, we're just getting started.
I think one of my highs is always when a client buys something and they feel like they've purchased something of value. It's a really good feeling. It's nice to know that you can create value for somebody else. And in terms of the lows, another high is also where we're contributing to the Buy Kenya Build, Kenya brand, and I think that's a very important platform that has come up, and Kenyans are now, and Africans basically, are learning to appreciate what comes from their continent, local designers, locally made stuff. And I think in terms of the lows, it would be a low and also a bit of a positive is the industry is not that developed, especially in terms of specialization, where say, for example, if we're doing a photo shoot, for example, you might come across a photographer who doesn't necessarily know how to shoot jewelry. They may know other product photography, but not jewelry photography. So you have to learn those skills so that you guide them, so that when you have your photo shoot, you actually achieve what it is you're trying to achieve. So there are small challenges like that where you have to learn other skills that are not necessarily design related, so that you're able to boost your business.
What can I tell to designers who are out there watching me right now? Karibu, I want to work with you. I want us to tell stories together. I want us to make money together. This is about making money in as much as it's about telling a story, right? And I want them to know that in Yakutti, we are very open-minded. We want to just partner with people who are like-minded as well, people who are passionate and who are moved and who want to do amazing stuff, people who want to create employment, because what you don't realize is that in entrepreneurship, the most basic thing we're actually doing, as much as we are trying to live our dreams, that we're creating employment for other people. Because the people who are designing, they will need the actual people who are going to do the actual work, right? So I'm encouraging these people, and I'm telling them, as long as you have beautiful jewelry, you have something that you believe in, come, contact us. Check out our website beforehand. It's www.yakutti.com. Yakutti has, I can spell it out, it's YAKUTTI.com. And you can also reach us on email. My email is mbulanzuki@yakutti.com. You can also write to my partner Nkatha at yakutti.com, and I will give out my contacts. They're also on the website, so feel free to write to us. Feel free to give me a shout, call us. Let's meet, let's talk, let's see what you have, and as long as it meets the criteria, honestly, which is good quality, a good story to tell, good ethical standards met, we are home.
I think support for businesses generally is something that affects the jewelry industry. Capital is always a challenge, when you're starting a business, because you don't necessarily know what challenges you're going to come across. Secondly, as I mentioned before, specialization in the industry is not the best. In the West, let's say you design clothes, for example, everybody has their job. So there's the designer who designs the pieces, and then you have the person who is the creative director who comes up with a theme for the photo shoot. Then you have the photographer, and so everybody can really hone in on their skills and specialize in a particular area. Here you might have to learn a little bit of everything, it's a positive to have so many skills, but it is a benefit when you're able to focus on a skill and become the best you can be at it.
What do I have planned for the woman at the grassroots level who would like to work with Yakutti? We are rolling out a plan which will entail us going out to the people at, say, Maasai markets, and then as long as they have futuristic designs, because we're not necessarily just doing the Maasai beadwork, which is very beautiful and I have immense respect for it. As long as they're willing to just tweak their designs a bit, and we're willing to help guide them towards that, we are reaching out to them. We're rolling out a plan which will entail us traversing the country, not just in Nairobi, but different parts of Kenya, looking for these people and trying to empower them as part of a CSR as well. And we are coming up with a mentorship platform as well, which entails current designers who are onboarded on Yakutti, partnering with some of these designers who are from Mashinani, who do not even have the capital or that kind of thing. Then we want to create partnerships between them, and we can come up with pretty designs, and that way I think both designers will be winning and Yakutti will be winning as well. And it's us giving back to society, because honestly we've gotten so much from society ever since we started, and even before we started, is from our individual communities where we come from. We've all been, we've received immense support, and we do not take that for granted at Yakutti. So we're reaching out to designers, from the artisans from deep, rooted places within the Republic, and we want to tell them to come home to us. We have good plans for them, and we want to do this without necessarily changing what they believe in, because style is very particular to every individual. So if there's a way that we can partner with them and empower them to create their own unique designs without us having to mess around with that too much, in as much as we want to bring modernity into this, why not? Let's do this. Yakutti is going to be a global company, Yakutti, I see Yakutti being an Amazon of not just for jewelry, but also for accessories. I'm speaking bags, leather bags, our nice Maasai shoes, different kiondos, all this. And I want it to be a platform which is not supplying just in the US, but in Europe, in Asia. I want to take Africa to the world. one piece at a time, you know, yeah, one craft at a time. And in the next 5-10 years, Yakutti will have achieved that. I believe so. I believe that you're going to be able to fulfill orders across the world, not just in the US and not just in Africa. I want us to go global. It's a limitless world.